You can start it.
We are live.
Cool. Hey everyone, welcome to SCOR Racing Season 1, live from, where are we today?
Well, we are going to Australia, but first we need a quick stop in South Korea.
Right. So this is going to be, I think, our very first kart.
It is, and we're gonna have. So even
Two
though
drivers?
not everybody's signed, we're gonna have 3 drivers, and not everybody's signed, but we're gonna run 2 of them as undrafted, essentially, or unsigned.
That's fine.
And then the other one, obviously, is with Hot Wheels.
How many laps do we have?
It is going to be a 10
like
lap
10
race.
laps.
Yep. At South Korea. South Korea, obviously, I was so excited for starting Superkart that just because the smaller tracks, but the unique thing with South Korea is it is literally a very small oval, and that's all it is.
Cool. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be tracking those standings for this.
I will probably have standings on my side, just on points tracking, not historical for the
Sounds good.
race, though.
Sounds good. Then take it away. I don't think there's much to talk about. I have no idea about karts. Ooh, the karts do make an awful noise.
Oh yeah, it's a nice low rumble.
The layout is very interesting, to be honest.
So basically, like how we started with Formula 3 before we had a full field, all the ones in caps are going to be user drivers. So in going down that, we're going to have Duhamel in 5th, Driver in 12th, and Martin in 13th to start the race. And we're going to kick it off right away just to keep rolling.
God, that is such an ugly sound. I'm sorry. I'm not going to comment much on karts. I'll be commenting from the other stuff onwards.
Right now, yeah, we're gonna. So Duhamel running in 2nd. Our other user drivers are gonna be Mini Driver, I believe, who's in 4th, and then Marky Mark Martin is in 10th. Which this should fit his track perfectly as a named after NASCAR driver, obviously Mark Martin.
Just promise me one thing. I don't want to see for F1 cars on this track.
I don't know how that would even work to be honest.
I guess we'll take a screenshot though for our records.
Yeah, so Duhamel wins the first Superkart race with Driver in 4th and then Martin in 9th. Couple free agents in there, so teams go get your Superkart drivers.
So yeah, I don't think we need the second page.
No,
because it's just AIs. Yep. So I just posted one picture.
Perfect. Sounds good. Well, I'm gonna move right on to get F3 situated here, and we'll be set.
Sounds good. So while you're getting F3 situated, I'll go over the F3 standings. So at the moment, leading the F3 championship, Lady Driver. 2 wins, 3 poles, 86 points. Second place, Tess Simmer. 1 win, 73 points. Mark Muller, our previous leader, has fallen drastically, is now third, 1 win, 3 poles, 3 fastest laps, 56 points. Chester Curd in fourth. Juan Pablo in 5th, Pete Savage, Jimmy Johnson, Castle Angelic, Bottom Split, and Mickey Mouse complete your top 10. Our last race's winner is Lady Driver, winning the last 2 races, in fact. And we'll see how that goes in Australia. Can Lady Driver be the first driver all categories to win 3 races in a row?
Yeah, this race is going to get pretty dicey out there. When we have the wet conditions and not really anybody focusing on that weather modifier, I think we're gonna see some damage issues. I think this race, to be honest.
Well, if you say so. I did not check the weathers as well. Looks like we have some rain in F3.
Yeah, we are at 100% rain.
Yeah, 100% rain. Some low rain in F2 and some sun in F1.
Yep. So, it's going to really balance out the field, because with Curd was our primary driver when it came to this avenue of tracks at 9, and so with this, they're basically relegated up way down to where the rest of the field's going to be.
Yeah, especially with all cars being equal in that Formula 3.
Yep.
It's going to be interesting to see how crunched up everyone is.
Yep, exactly. So we really don't have to delay anymore. We can head right on over to the race.
Go for it. Ooh, that is very wet. But they're off. Let's see what happens as they round the exit so far. We see Pilgrim ahead of Johnson and Splits. Will they hold it that way all the way through? Pilgrim does have a nice lead, but I think the others have a nice bit of turbo right at the end. And we have Simmer, Tess Simmer, second in the championship, taking pole position. 800ths behind is Splits for Mol Adra, and Pilgrim third for Alpine, 2/10 back. The rest of your top 10 will be Johnson, I Go Quick, Angelic, Mamiya, Curd, Muller, and Fox. On the second half of the grid, we have Mouse, Savage, Carlin, Alexander, Onsalinar, Driver, our championship leader, Toast, Pablo, Bushlight, and Ozolins closes the lineup.
All right, and we're gonna just keep on rolling through all this tonight. So get the races going so we can watch a little bit more race and a little bit less talk, I think, today.
And they're off. Simmer tries to hold Splits. Pilgrim also trying to squeeze by Splits. Looks like he will take the lead of the race. Followed by Simmer and Pilgrim fighting for second place. Johnson, I Go Quick right behind. Simmer looks to take lead again, using some turbo to go past Splits. Splits not quite carrying the speed and losing 2 positions to Pilgrim and Angelic. Volkswagen with 2 in the top 3 at the moment. Very close there between the second, third, fourth, as actually top 3 now, banging into each other. Splits is taking a whole bunch of damage. Might want to avoid doing that to keep his race going. But we do have a pack of cars breaking out. Splits, Simmer, Pilgrim, I Go Quick, Curd, Angelic, and Johnson breaking away from the pack. Carlin trying to stick with them, and Muller just lurking a bit further down. And we see Splits with a penalty there. That's why it ghosted, and he has to go in for repairs as well.
Yeah, that long stretch on the back, building up all that speed going into that quick turn, we're going to see an issue. And you just saw Simmer there also take a penalty.
Simmer is also very broken and will probably go into the pits. I wouldn't be surprised seeing I Go Quick and Angelic going to the pits soon as well. There they go. Damage is coming through to everyone. Even Kurd up front with Pilgrim do have some damage. Wouldn't be surprised seeing them go into the pits. Maybe not this lap, but they will have to go into the pits eventually, whether or not they hit back markers or what or not. But at the moment, Kurd from Johnson from Carlin is your top three. Decent gap afterwards. Alexander, Pilgrim, Pablo, I Go Quick, Splits back up to 8th, Angelic back up to 9th, and Mamiya 10th. The good thing for our leaders is that they've pretty much split away from everyone else, so they are free to race without bumping into someone else for a while. As we see Ozolins go in, also for repairs. Definitely this race is going to be something to do with damage prevention.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think once we get into F2, F1, we're going to see obviously the driver's skill level coming back up with it not being hindered because of the weather. And we're going to see a little bit more avoidance of the damage. Not all, because that long straight's going to cause some issues with that final last there.
Mm-hmm. But Kurt is being cut up, I think, by is it Johnson up front?
Yep.
Yeah, and there might be a bit more of a battle there as well as a jockey for position, which might do some damage to Kurd. He'll actually use a whole bunch of his turbo to get the hell out of there before that becomes the case.
Yes.
This is what we call noping the hell out of there. And now we're also getting into the area where we try to avoid going into the pits as well. So some damage might not be too good as Kurt reaches the back markers and bumps into his teammate who is running in 19th.
Yeah, I mean, not too many races ago, it's when we had Mueller that was leading the entire race and with a sort of a rain track.
And there we go. Our leader now, Kurt, goes into the pits for repairs. Johnson now leads. Yeah. Johnson has won the get the least amount of damage and stay alive award this race. As both cars in front of him that he laps get penalized for bumping into each other. Making it a very safe pass for him.
So the question will be, obviously, as we always talk about this, is the fact of whether Johnson comes in to take tires. We can see those absolutely start to run down now. But this late in the race, it's not a guarantee that he'll come to the pit road. Oh, there you go.
Oh, well, he does. I guess one pit is too much to ask. No pit is too much to ask. Does he come out in front of Kurd? Just barely gets past them. They all three, top three, bump into each other, which lets Pilgrim take the lead of the race. Let's follow Pilgrim, Johnson, and Kurd, who are fighting for the win. Two of them get blocked by Ozolins and Bushlight, who are fighting for the last two places in the race, giving Pilgrim a bit of space. But Johnson and Kurd using some turbo to try and catch up to him. They both get blocked by Toast from Ferrari. But Johnson is right on the tail of Pilgrim with about half a lap to go. Can Pilgrim hold it? Or can Kurd or Johnson pass him at the very end? We're getting towards the last couple quarter, last chicane, last straight, and Pilgrim will win the race. Kurd just inches out past Johnson, takes second. I Go Quick will take fourth, Carlin will take fifth. I guess it really was Scott Pilgrim versus the world out there.
All right, so congrats to Pilgrim and Alpiner for the Formula 3 win there. Kurt's going to be in second with Johnson finalizing that podium finish there for McLaren. I Go Quick is going to be in fourth for Mercedes, also with the fast time, so they'll get the extra point. Carlin is going to be fifth with another strong showing from Alpine there for F3. Alexander in sixth with his teammate Fox there at seventh. Mouse from Ferrari in eighth. Mamiya from Maladra in ninth with Mueller taking 10th there for Mercedes. In 11th, we're going to have Simmer from VW IBM Racing. 12th is going to be Splits. 13th, 14th, 15th is driver Pablo in Van Salinar. Angelic in 16th. 17th is Busch Light. 18th is Olens. Savage and Toast round out the field in 19th and 20th.
Yeah, I mean, a very interesting race. A really good result for Chester Kurt, currently fourth in the championship. That will really mess him up considering that Muller finished 10th, so that's only 1 point. And both Simmer and Lady Driver did not finish in the points this race.
Correct. And with Simmer there in 11th, he will still get the bonus for the bonus point for the pole.
Yes.
But yes, both of them missing out on points is going to bring that field a bit even closer together here.
And other notable results is Ray Alexander, 6th place, was 18th in the standings, so those are his first 4 points as well. I Go Quick, 4th, is 16th in the standings, and Pilgrim was 15th in the standings, and that is going to get a huge boost up the standings. Jimmy Johnson is also going to go pretty high up, finishing 3rd when he was 7th in the standings. You know, so there's going to be some movements up there.
Yeah, it was nice seeing some new names in this points list essentially. So it's going to keep tying up that field a little bit there, keeping them closer together as we approach these, last few races of the season. But in saying that, yeah, let's get set for F2. A little bit more drier-ish conditions for this race, but should be fun to watch with everybody at full strength here.
Absolutely. And while you set up, I can go over the championships. So for Formula 2, our Drivers' Championship is led in dominant fashion by Late for Bingo for McLaren. In second place, Popcat for Ferrari, trailing by 42 points, 127 to 85. Felix van der Buysen for Volkswagen IBM, third, 83. Drops a little with Jackson Stiles, 74 from Mercedes. Alvin Wong, fifth with 60 points for Maple Street. Utah, Venegas, Zane, Canders, and Dadley round out your top 10. Good to note that there is no driver that has not scored any points in Formula 2. Constructors' Championship is a very tight affair, however, as Ferrari leads the way with 138 points to McLaren's 129. Maple Stroop is in third, not too far back at 116, Mercedes fourth at 114, and Aston Martin at 108. This is all to play for in Formula 2, at least for the Constructors' Championship. Drivers' Championship might be a bit harder, but there's still plenty of racing left in the season, and I'm sure other drivers will be able to catch up as GPE goes up. With that said, let's go ahead to qualifying. One lap. We do have some dry qualifying here. And they're off. The moment we see Sile, Yuta Topalo, Venegas, Dadley slightly edging the others, but it's not over until someone uses all their turbo. And as I say that, we do have Topalo up front, and Topalo just barely holds on after Bingo puts a big turbo boost. 0.05 of a second, Topalo ahead of Bingo. Sile third, Venegas fourth, Popcat fifth, Albano, Dadley, Utah, Andrews, Wonk round out your top 10. The back half will be Steve, Vander Bison, Dakari, Maldonado, Gordon Jr., Miller, Kanders, Toth, Bergen, and Ray.
I mean, I think the surprise so far of the day has been Alpina Garage. They had a strong showing there in the F3 race, and right away here in F2, they are leading the qualifying results with another one in the top 10.
Yep. But, races aren't not won on qualifying, but they certainly help for a good start.
Absolutely.
So,
it keeps you out of that mix of potential damage there in the middle of the pack.
Yeah. And we have going to be, 25% rain?
Yep, we're going to have 25% rain, so we will see a mix up here in the field. It's all depending on timing when that rain starts falling, and that could really shake things up.
The rain will shake things up. The damage that we saw in Formula 3 might show up as well. We're in for potentially a wild one with Formula 2.
Yes, absolutely are. So without further ado, let's get to the track.
As lights go on, they're off. So Kento Palo hold off Bingo. It doesn't look like it. Sal is coming to make it 3 wide, but Bingo's ekes in front. Topal uses a bit of turbo to try and stay with Bingo. Right behind them, Venegas and Sile and Popcat trying to close, but my god, how much turbo does Bingo have? Puts up
it's never ending.
A massive gap to everyone else, as Topal now has to defend from Venegas for second place. And Venegas forces his way past Topalo. Can Palo hold on or not? I don't know what they put in Bingo's car, but he went off to the races and then some. Palo goes wide, hits the wall and the grass, has to use turbo to try and keep up with Topalo. So your top 4 at the moment: Bingo, Topalo, Sile, Venegas. It's a bit of a battle right after with Popcat, Albano, and Andrews battling for 5th place. Then you have another group of 3 cars battling for 9, 10, 11 in Dadley, Wong, and Vander Bison. So small pockets of battle, some damage on some cars. So far the weather is sunny. There is a very interesting variety on the tires. The top 4 are running soft, Popcat running mediums, and Andrews running hard in that top 6.
Yeah, ideally we're going to see, if cars can stay clean and not take on damage, absolutely opportunity for just a one-stop race.
Absolutely, and we do see that Sal has managed to get past Topalo, and not just a little bit. So now, Bingo, Sal, Topalo, your top 3. Venegas fighting right there next to Topalo. Venegas does eke ahead at the moment. Not the best of starts for our pole sitter, but still up there. Good for some very solid points.
Still up there, and this is where we're going to see Bingo challenge for the first time and trying to avoid damage. So,
yeah, he is plowing through those lapped cars, and it's absolutely wild how he's just passing everyone and how fast his turbo is charging. Venegas and Topalo are having a bit of a bumper cars moment. Venegas will probably go into the pits to repair, which clears Topalo and Popcat for some clean air in front, as some other lap cars got past as they were in the pits. The weather is going to go down to cloudy shortly, so I'm going to start to go cloudy. Topala goes in for a change of tires. Looks like potentially our soft tire runners are going to all change now-ish. Sal is trying to close the gap to Bingo. It is now very close. Guess Bingo, whoa, Sal absolutely murdering his exit there.
We need new tires. We need new tires.
Very interesting. Popcat with the early wet pit. Way before the rain actually starts to pour. This is going to put him in a very good position to catch up to our race leaders. Although, we have to say that the first top two are really far ahead of everyone else.
See, I think the time that could get made up is if somebody can get on, mediums, or even actually softs here. Softs will take it to the end here if this track dries up. Who can get those tires on first?
Absolutely. However, now that everyone's on wet tires, the question is, will the track dry out in time for people to put softs?
Exactly.
Because we saw that depending on where we are, we're just outside of the rain element now, so the track is going to start drying out very slowly. But if it goes into that sunny portion, it's going to dry way faster.
Yep.
But Bingo keeping Sile at bay at the moment. Papalo is back in 6th place after those repairs. Overall, the really good moves up front have been for Utah and Popcat, who were able to go into the pits for their tire change right as it got wet.
Yeah, Popcat was actually able to work off, I believe it was almost 5 seconds because of that tire change. And on top of that, being able to climb up to 3rd.
But now we are at max sunny. Those wet tires are probably going to be changed shortly, depending on what the next weather roll is going to be. But I wouldn't be surprised if in the next lap we see some drivers go in. I mean, Gordon Jr. went in already. All the drivers are coming in now. And it just so happens that it's perfect timing for our race leaders. So they're going to open the gap some more probably as cars go in. Yeah, not too much damage issue overall, but some major gaps up front with what I'm guessing drivers heavily investing in, consistency?
Yep, that would be consistency.
Let's look. Yeah, go ahead. Cool. Basically, let's look quickly at the whole standings as well. 18 laps in. Bingo, Sile, Popcat, Utah, Venegas, Palo, Steve, Andrews, Dadley, Wong is your top 10. Some good moves for some teams up front. We do have some of the usuals as well in the back, with Ray and Bergen being, consistently at the rear of the field. But, yeah.
Andrew's given Bingo a bit of trouble here. As Andrews here is a lap car. The last car on the lead lap at the moment.
Yeah. Andrews did not want to get overtaken from 7th place, a lap down to our leader, who is next going to be on the hunt to lap Topalo, who is a few cars ahead due to lapped cars. Sal is trying as best he can to try and catch up, but those lapped cars are not helping him. And every time he gets close, either Bingo is using some turbo, or he goes wide and clips the grass, which does not help him close the gap. But Sile is there within half a second of Bingo, and is right behind him now. This is just going to be pure racing as Sile takes the lead of the race, using a lot of turbo along the way. But Bingo already has about half his turbo charged up, ready to.
On the last lap.
to make a move, then this is gonna be it. Like, can Bingo catch up, or will Bingo just be happy with the second place? And I think it's too little, too late. Or is it? Bingo pips Sile. Bingo pips Sile at the very end, next to that stocked up turbo. Third win of the season for our championship leader, late for Bingo, who pips Jackson Sile, finishes second. Popcat will take third. Venegas fourth, Utah fifth. That turbo at the end.
That did it.
It looked like Sile was completely out of it, and maybe just thought he had that win and just said, you know what, I'm going to cruise.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just like 0.02 of a second pulled that one off. That last pass there. I was surprised, honestly. I didn't know if Bingo would, obviously because we don't control him, I didn't know if he would switch out to that to get out from behind Sile there and take that win. So going down here, the F2 results, we have Bingo taking that win by, like we were just talking, 0.02 of a second. Awesome win there for McLaren. Sile, Mercedes there in second. Popcat rounding out the podium in third of Ferrari. Venegas finishes in fourth. Will also get the additional point for the fast lap. Utah in fifth. Tapalo sixth. And teammate Andrews at Alpina there in seventh. Steven Ferrari in eighth. Dadley and Wong finish out the points orders there in ninth and 10th. Maldonado is going to finish at 11th. Gordon Jr. of Hot Wheels Racing in 12th. Albano Vanderbezen run 13th and 14th. Miller is in 15th with the teammates of Maladra in 16th and 17th of Takaria and Toth. 18th is Bergen, and then Canders and Ray finish the field in 19th and 20th.
Yeah,
that was
awesome
race.
Qualifying, very close finish there. That was wild.
Just as Bingo started that race, using that boost, that DRS, they finished the race doing the exact same thing, closing that gap up and passing Sile on a final stretch there, moments before the finish line.
Yeah. And good to see two Alpines in the top 10, two Maple Stroops in the top 10. We haven't talked about them tonight much. Two Ferraris in the top 10, so keeping those points on par with what Bingo is doing on his own on that McLaren.
Yep. Covering the field for himself and Bergen. Not sure if he's going to ever get too much credit this season.
Unfortunately, Bergen is an inactive user at this point. It is going to hurt McLaren. They really need to find a way to get him to be active again. But even then, he's missed a lot of updates so far.
He really has. Yeah. It's definitely going to be one of those drivers that you're probably going to see drop down in the tiers here of racing for this season.
I mean, other than being last in the championship and inactive, most likely going to get dropped by McLaren for an active user, because as you can see, if Bingo had some support within the team, they'd be really far ahead in terms of the championship as well. But it's making it very close overall, so it's good for the viewership.
It is. That's what McLaren lacks, to have that dominance that really Ferrari has up in F1. And speaking of F1, I am going to get that field ready. And I'll let you take over in regards to just sort of talk about where we're at.
Yeah. So a sunny race today in Australia for Formula One. So the weather has been getting progressively better. Drivers' Championship. It's a very dominant season for both Ferrari cars. Bobby Brooks leading the championship, 121 points, ahead of Aaron O'Shea Hennessy, 112 points. Third place, Furious Chicken for Maple Stroop. Fourth place, Michael Selig for McLaren. Pierre Hood comes in in fifth for Aston Martin. Jamie Raikkonen, Randall Devil, Edward Bass, Roger Dietrich, Paul Carpentier round up your top 10. In terms of constructors, Ferrari is absolutely dominating the championship with 233 points to McLaren's 137. Maple Street comes in third, also getting just past the 100-point mark at 100 points. Hot Wheels fourth, Aston Martin fifth. In terms of race results, last race was won by Bobby Brooks. Second was Jimmy Raikkonen, and third was Mateus Carvalho. Our other big names up front. O'Hennessy finished 18th. Selig finished 15th. Oud finished 17th. It was a very bumpy Hungary as I watched the replay. So a bit of a chaos as well with the tires. But definitely something that we are going to see change as time goes by.
Yeah, well, we don't have the rain this race. We're gonna have a field that's competitive for this one. So I do feel like we're gonna see some back and forth here. It's gonna be interesting to see the tire strategy, and where everybody's going to qualify here. I think is going to set precedence as to who can maintain that damage at a better clip than the rest.
100%. So I would say let's get going with qualifying.
All right.
Again, 2 laps of qualifying for Formula 1. Let's see what happens. No surprise, both Ferrari drivers are up front as we start this first lap. But I don't see that many drivers use turbo. When I say that Selig uses a whole bunch of it to try and get that first fast lap, will he have enough for his second lap? As we see Brooks, Selig, Hennessy, and Devil up front. Hennessy pumps that turbo and will take a comfortable first place pole. So Hennessy from Pierre Hood comes back after a very poor Hungary showing. Brooks in third, Selig in fourth, Burkhardt fifth, Shuttle, Devil, Paul Hood in ninth, and Dietrich runs out your top 10. Back half of the grid will be Strategy, Carvalho, Della Torre, Raikkonen, Bass, Lewis, Jobin, Chicken, Bobby, and Carpentier to finish the grid. Ferrari's showing up again. Very strong this year. And I'm sure that they are going to, at this point, it's not so much as to is Ferrari going to win, it's more which Ferrari is going to win. The championships, that is. Yeah. But looking forward to see if Hood, Selig, and Burkhardt can cause some damage up front. Some poor showing by our third place in the championship, here's Chicken, who will start really far in the back.
Yeah, Chicken down there starting 18th is going to be troublesome trying to get through this field. I think Selig is in a good spot right now. I know McLaren's did a lot this last update for their cars, bringing a little bit more speed to the field. And so I see him. If there's somebody that I think could pull this off, splitting these Ferraris, it would be Selig this race.
100%, and I say without much further ado, I don't have much else to talk about.
All right.
So
let's roll.
Let's rock and roll. And the cars are off. Hennessy will try and block Hood, who tried to block Brooks at the same time. Pretty clean so far from to be honest, all the race. I haven't really heard much banging cars. Selig comes from fourth, bumps into Hood, but now it's basically Hennessy trying to keep some of the non-Ferrari cars at bay. As I say that, Brooks is trying to bully his way past Selick to catch up to his teammate. Hennessy doesn't want to do anything to do with that, uses his turbo. It's 2 Ferraris, 2 Aston Martins, Maple Stroop, I think, and McLaren up front, splitting away from the field.
Selick took a pretty hard hit there on the back half of that section of the last lap. So
100%.
That's gonna be troublesome.
Actually, Paul Hood, all the way from 9th, is now in 2nd. When at the end of the 3rd lap ahead, and there comes the second Aston Martin right behind. Although Hood goes really wide off the first corner and hits the wall and takes the grass. Still gonna stay in 3rd at the moment as Reed goes them now for that 3rd place. Selick and Hood now, Hood do have some damage. I wouldn't be surprised to see Selick come in now. Not the most ideal start for him. It's been a very unlucky a season for him overall, with the bumps.
Yeah, it seems like if there's any driver that's had the worst of luck in the field, I think it'd be him. And I'm still always surprised to see where he's at in the field with some of the luck that he's been lacking.
100%. I am 100% there with you. But we do have a top 3 at the moment breaking away, which is Hennessy, Ree, and Paul Hood. Again, Paul Hood has been a bit overshadowed by Pierre Hood so far this season, but it's good to see the other Hood brother up front and challenging for those podium positions. As he just goes wide, this is like the caster curse, as they call it. Say something nice about a person and they go wide. But, both Hood and Ree are now getting past Ricky Bobby, our constructor owner for Mercedes, not having a very good time in Formula One so far.
Definitely struggling out there. I know Mercedes themselves as a car is an update behind at the moment because they didn't get on that yet this week. So that's gonna. I mean, it could hurt. All it takes is 1 or 2 points, and you can update to something. If you don't take advantage of that, other people absolutely do.
Especially when speed is such a huge factor for a lot of the constructor owners that they are willing to wait a week or 2 to upgrade their cars. But we do see some cars like Paul Hood go in for their first pit stops. Those were the soft tire runners. I wouldn't be surprised to see the medium tire runners go in soon as our screen begins to flicker a little bit. I don't know if this is your side as well, or if this is a stream issue.
Uh-oh. Not getting any flickering on my end.
I don't have the YouTube stream open, so I don't know if there's flickering. I'm going to be right back. I do get some flickering as well as I'm back. Terribly sorry for this, guys. If that is happening on the YouTube.
The YouTube stream seems fine, so I can take over a little bit here.
So this sounds like it is a Discord issue. That's fine. I will look at the standings. I'll let you talk.
There you go. So Hennessy still leading the way here. Hasn't taken their pit stop. Out on medium still. Has been able to avoid some damage here as they're getting through some lap cars passing fast. Right now, look at the standings. We have Paul Hood in 2nd and Ree in 3rd. Hood about 5 seconds back right now, having that single stop yet. So once Hennessy comes in, it'll bring that back together. Hood's been definitely starting to track down Hennessy as the tire wear for Hennessy has been. It's definitely in effect at the moment. Hood now about 3.5 seconds back.
I mean, Hennessy is also trying to deal with lapped cars as well as his tires going bad and gets bumped on the way in as well. But Paul Hood is going to take the lead as Ree also zips by Hennessy on the way out. Hennessy back on medium tires, same as Ree, Paul Hood up front with a very aggressive soft tire strategy.
Yeah, so all these drivers right now, they will have to pit one more time. They will have to pit. That doesn't mean they will pit, but that they will have to pit in terms of performance-wise.
Yeah. Also, we did see that some of the hard runners, like Bass, has not pitted yet. So those hard tires can do half a race. It's very conservative driving, but they can do it. As the tires for Hennessy and Ree get up to temperature, they will also start to hunt down Paul Hood, who is 2 seconds ahead of Hennessy. Probably the gap is going to close at the next update. It's actually going stable. It's actually going up now. You know, I say one thing and it does something else. But yeah, I mean,
I think the surprise right now is Brooks here, sitting in 7th. Obviously, we didn't have them on the broadcast when anything happened, but must have ran into some pit issues there because they have already pitted twice this race, and those softs won't last till the end.
Absolutely, I believe that Brooks did just bump into a whole bunch of traffic at one point, which did not help his cause, right?
Correct.
But actually, another good performance so far is De La Torre, who is 4th, albeit really far away from our top 3, but up there. As guessing Paul Hood's tires are starting to wear out, Hennessy and Ree are closing the gap, and it's now down to 1.4 seconds, as Paul Hood does come in to change tires. Paul Hood as well now can go on to another set of softs, or could go, as he does that. That is a bit of a risky strategy, in my opinion. We've seen that, you know, they'll do 9 to 10 laps.
Yep.
Which might not be ideal. Hennessy will still have to go pit, but Hennessy can do a soft tire change and go to the end.
And really benefit from that last change too, because as he goes in to get fresh softs on that last stop, Hood and Ree will be on heavily worn softs at that point.
Absolutely. And unless they think of doing a very aggressive third stop just for fresh softs just to go to the end, Hennessy might actually go and get his first career win. Reminder that Hennessy has 5 second places this season, 2 fifth places this season, and only 2 outside the points. Has yet to win.
And I believe it was Selleck who sniped a last second finish from him as well.
Absolutely. In fact, Selleck beat Hennessy in 2 different races for second, in Austria and in Belgium. But at the moment, Hennessy has a 6.3 second lead over Ree and Hood, who are significantly behind everyone else. I have been told to shut up and do a caster curse. I will not shut up, and I will up Hennessy throughout, just because I do find it hilarious if he won the championship without a win.
I think we should talk about Hennessy more and how great of a race he's having right now.
Yes.
He's really managing those tires well, staying out of damage. This race truly is his to lose.
Absolutely. And Hennessy does go into the pits for that final tire change. The question is, how much gap is he going to have to Ree and Hood? And actually, as I say that, Ree is just ahead of Hennessy, just a little bit. And now it's fresh softs versus worn softs. At what point does Hennessy just go on the attack with 5 laps left? Does Hood go into the pit? Or do they just ride it out till the end, considering they have a significant gap to third? To fourth, sorry. And we do have some traffic also to negotiate. as we are getting close to
Ooh.
Hennessy and Reed both decide the grass is an option. Um, but Hennessy is now comfortably in first place, is going to pass by his teammate without any issues. Yeah, Hennessy has now 5 lap cars between him and Reed.
Yeah,
And those lap cars are fighting, so do not want to let Reed pass. But Reed does make it through and uses a whole bunch of turbo to try and stick with Hennessy, but I think Hennessy is, this is really his race to lose at this point. It would take a significant amount of crazy.
You look at that tire wear at the moment, and that's really going to tell you the end story of this race.
Yeah. Well, let's quickly go over Ree and Hood, who are, a bit further back. Those tires are in the yellow in terms of durability for Ree and Hood. Well, actually, we're on the last lap, so let's focus on Hennessy. Hennessy's got about half a lap left. Is he going to make it? Is he going to hold on? I think he does. One last lap car for him, but Hennessy will take his first win of the season. Ree will take second, Paul Hood will take third. Very good job for what was seen as the second drivers for Maple Stroop and for Aston so far this season. Selig comes in fourth, Devil comes in fifth. So, 10 races, 9 different winners in Formula One.
I love to see it. That variety there absolutely kicks it in. Even though, Hennessy has had his fair share of podium finishes, he's not a stranger to it. All right, going down the race results here. As we mentioned, Hennessy is going to get his first win of the season. And assume that points lead, if I'm not mistaken. Finishing first. Ree also is going to get the bonus point for the fastest lap, finishing second, with Paul Hood rounding out the podium finishers there of Aston Martin. Selig, as we saw, limped across in fourth. Still a solid finish from him, maintaining his qualifying position. Devil is going to be in fifth of Alpiner with a strong day continued from them. Brooks finishes sixth, falling down from, I believe it was third in qualifying. De La Torre in seventh, Burkhardt in eighth, Pierre Hood in ninth for Aston Martin, and Carvalho in 10th of Orlando. In the bottom half of the field, we're going to have Bass in 11th, Shettle in 12th, Distruc in 13th, Raikkonen in 14th, and Chicken in 15th. Lewis is going to be 16th, with Jobin between the two Hendricks cars in 17th, Strategy in 18th, Carpentier in 19th, and Bobby rounds out the field today in 20th.
Yeah, let's quickly talk about our point finishers, because we have some unfamiliar faces there. Ree is very far down in the championship order. Currently, there's a small issue with Topalo in the standings, but Ree would have been 19th in the standings and gets a second place, which is going to propel him up, up there. Paul Hood is also, further down in the standings, gets to go move up with a solid third place. Devil performs well. De La Torre and Carvalho, both for Moladra, who's they needed a good result, and honestly, 2 cars in the points. It's not necessarily the top points, but those are good results for them.
Yeah, it's nice to get points. It's nice to see the team performing well.
As well as Burkhardt, so someone that we have high expectation for of the season because he was so strong in the preseason. But it's good to see them get points as well, considering that we haven't seen them as often as we expected to.
Absolutely, definitely.
I mean, in terms of disappointments, Chicken for me, did their best, but when you start flat far back, you're gonna not very hard to go up the field.
Yeah, and Shuttle there in 12th. I know missed a couple update weeks there, and I think it's starting to show a little bit paired with that Mercedes. Shuttle's been pretty consistent to getting at least some points, maybe not the highest earning points, but some points.
Mm-hmm. And especially now that we're getting into the last few races. We have 2 more races this week. One's in Azerbaijan and the other's in the US. Then we have 3 more races next week: Bahrain, Japan, Saudi Arabia, and that's it. We finish at the end of next week.
Yeah, we are.
So there's a couple battles going on, mostly for placement. Some drivers are probably trying to get, that next contract, or looking to maybe move to another team to get a better car that suits their driving style. But there's also a very real battle for the last place. You don't want to be on the last 2 drivers' places in the standings. Those drivers are out of Formula One next season.
Correct. Yes. So in saying that, I think we can wrap up the broadcast for the night.
Absolutely.
Thank you for everybody for watching. Thank you for Zune for commentating. Always a pleasure. And meanwhile,
good when you're not sick.
We will be back tomorrow night.
Sounds good. Have a good one, guys. Bye.